believe in you, Wa Mulan. Girl, I believe in you, Wa Mulan. I believe in you, Wa Mulan, girl. Domination. It's your boy Julian. It's time for another diary entry, guys. In this diary entry, I'm actually reviewing the 2020 Mulan. Yes, the live action Mulan, guys. Now this movie stars, I'm gonna put their names on here because I'm bad at names, guys. So I'll just let y'all know these are the people that star because I'm bad at Chinese names and I don't want to mess up these people's names. I don't want to mess up their names, guys. I don't want to mess up their names. So the plot to this Mulan, guys, is just like the 1998 Mulan's plot. So basically an Asian girl, she's told to honor her family by marrying a suitor, and just then her father is drafted into the Chinese army. And her father is weak. He can't do the army no more. But because he has no sons to produce, he has to go to the army. So Mulan decides that she's gonna take her father's place, even though women are not allowed in the army back then in ancient China. So Mulan goes on this journey and end up saving us all. While Mulan end up saving us all. Oh, girl, one of my favorite Disney princesses. It goes Ariel and then Mulan, girl. Then, like all my reviews, guys, this will be a spoiler-free review. I will not spoil Mulan for you. Mulan is actually on Disney Plus, so if you don't have Disney Plus, you need to get Disney Plus. So we're gonna talk about the controversy with Mulan and Disney Plus, guys. We're gonna talk about the controversy. So Mulan, everybody know Mulan was supposed to go in theaters. But you know, because of Rona sitting outside, theaters are just now opening up. Like I seen Tenet, and you will see my Tenet review, and I seen New Mutants, and you will see my New Mutants review. But Disney decided to put Mulan on Disney Plus and do a $30 premium access. So basically, if you already have Disney Plus, for $30 additional, you can get Mulan and watch Mulan as long as you want. And the controversy around this was, a lot of people was angry. A lot of people was like, well, I'm already paying for Disney Plus. Why don't I get Mulan for free? You know how much Mulan costs Disney? So Mulan costs Disney $2 million to produce. Not $2 million, $200 million to produce. So in order for Disney to make money on Mulan, they would at least have to make, with all the advertising and all that stuff, around about $500 to $600 million to get their money back. So I can understand why Disney put it with 30% price tag. Like, people think people make money off of streaming services. HBO, like Warner Brothers, Disney, like nobody makes money off of streaming services, guys. They only make what their subscriber base produce. Like, people think Netflix is making these billions of dollars and all that stuff. Yeah, people don't understand Netflix is in debt. The only reason why their revenue is good is because they borrowed from the bank and they can produce, like, hey, if we get 30 subscribers, like, not 30, maybe 3 million subscribers every month, we can pay you your money back. But Netflix is in debt. If all them subscribers would go away from Netflix would be under. Subscribers is how they make their money on streaming services. So you really don't. So if you put a big tentpole movie on your streaming service and you don't get revenue from that, you only get revenue from your subscribers. It ain't like when if Disney would have put Mulan on Disney Plus for free, that they would be making money off of Mulan. No, they really wouldn't, because whatever subscribers they have on that, let's say they have 100 million subscribers, which I think only got 50 million subscribers, they would only get the amount of money that 50 million subscribers pay. And Disney Plus is only $5, like it's $6. It's like one of the cheapest streaming services. So come on, guys. $30 ain't that much. Like, the controversy is kind of crazy to me, because it's so crazy to me, because it's like, if you to go to the movies to watch Mulan by yourself. Now this is Texas. I'm in Texas. I'm in Houston, Texas. So let me tell you how much it would cost me to go to the movies by myself if Mulan was in theaters. So in Texas, the movie theaters for one ticket is around about $10.81. So let's round it up to $11. So it's $11 to go see Mulan. If you, and everybody goes to the movies and buys snacks and stuff. A medium popcorn and a medium drink is almost $10. So you already paying, that's $21. That's already $21. You didn't pay to go see Mulan in the theaters. Then you gotta think about, I'm not talking about like gas. If your theater ain't around the corner, you gotta go gas. Let's say gas is $5. That is now it's $26 to go see. You're almost spending $30. So to me, this is cheap. And then it's not like you spend the $30 on Disney Plus and then you can't watch it again. You gotta keep buying it. No, once you spend the $30 on Disney Plus for the premium access, you can watch Mulan as many times as you want. As many times as you want. And in the theaters, if you spend $30 in the theaters, the next time, and let's say I want to go see Mulan again, I have to pay that $30 again. So I think the controversy around paying the $30 is stupid, because first of all, you're only paying $6 for your Disney Plus anyway. Then second of all, like, $30 is really not that much when you think about going to the theaters. So I don't see the controversy. And I know a lot of people probably cuss me out in the comment section below, but I don't. Now, there is some things about this Mulan that I feel like people should know. People should know. There will be no Mushu in this Mulan. And I know a lot of people will be mad about that. There will be no Li Shang. I hope I'm saying his name right. Mulan's love interest in this Mulan. There will be no Cricket. There is Cricket in the movie. You know, Cricket, the little cricket that was with Mushu. But it's Cricket in the movie, but he's not a cricket. He's not a cricket. You won't get the songs. The songs is not in this movie. And you won't get the ancient relics and all that stuff. And you know, a lot of people will be mad about that. So if you're mad about this, you might not want to watch this Mulan. But I kind of like that, because I feel like they're trying, because let's be honest, the 1998 Mulan was American-made Mulan. I mean, this is American-made too, but to me, I feel like this Mulan is more for Asian culture. They're really baking on the Asian culture. They want to represent Asian culture. And I hate to be mean, American people, and I know there's American people that's watching me. I hate to be mean, but we like to think that we're the only culture in the world. America likes to think, the United States likes to think we're the only culture in the world. Like, there's no other cultures in the world. That's what we like to think. 1998 Mulan, I went and watched it before I watched this Mulan. There's a lot of flaws in it because of the culture. And people don't understand, because people don't know, you know, it's a classic and it's beloved, and I love that Mulan too. But when that Mulan came out, there was a lot of controversy around it from Asian people, because, you know, the way they was represented. I mean, they wasn't represented bad, but that's not Asian culture. Like Mushu the Dragon. Everybody loved Mushu the Dragon. Eddie Murphy did an awesome job, but dragons in Asian culture are represented differently. Like, they represent strength and, you know, strength and honor, and because you will hear a lot of honor in this movie. They represent so much more, and to have him a wisecracking sidekick, kind of, you know, that's not great. But you know, we Americans, we think, oh yeah, they should love that. That's not great. That's really not, you know, that's not great when you think about it. That's why, because I know a lot of people are saying they need to make a live action Pocahontas. This is why Disney, you know, they might make one, but they probably won't, because if you think about Pocahontas' story, the Disney version of Pocahontas is not, that's Disney version of Pocahontas. That's not the real story of Pocahontas. Pocahontas didn't fall in love with John Smith like the Disney version is. And to make the Disney version of Pocahontas would be an insult to Native Americans, because that's not the story of Pocahontas. That's whitewashing the story of Pocahontas. And as much as we love Pocahontas, the Disney version, just leave that like it is. Because if you make a live action one, they would have to change it. Because that would be an insult to Native Americans. And I know a lot of people saying PC culture, PC culture, PC culture, but come on. It's time to respect other cultures. We're not the only culture. America is not the only culture, and it's time to respect the other culture. And I know you like this, but respect other people. That's why we going through so much controversy now, because people want it their way and don't want to respect other people's culture. Let me not ramble. Ooh, let me not ramble. But those are the things that you're not gonna get in this Mulan. This Mulan is gonna be about culture and about representation. New characters that you will get in this Mulan, guys. New characters that you will Mulan. You're gonna get I can't say Finn, X-Fin. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna put it right there on the screen because I'm bad at names. Now she plays the Falcon and the Witch. Now here's the thing about the Falcon and the Witch that people don't understand, because people was like, what, they added a witch to this? What, they added a witch to this? Here's the thing about it. The Falcon is the Falcon that was in the animated series, except they turned the Falcon into a witch. And it has something to symbolize in the story of Mulan, so it symbols something. But like, this is the only thing that's different about this Falcon is that it's a witch also. But it's the Falcon that was in the animated series, So it's not, the only thing that's new is that the Falcon can turn into a witch. Like I said, the other thing that's new, Cricket is now a person. Cricket is now a person, and I really liked it that Cricket was a person. At first I thought they was going to actually have an animated Cricket in here, because I was like, that'd have been cool. That'd have been cool too. Like a not talking Cricket, but like a Cricket side person, because you couldn't have Mushu in it, would have been still awesome. But I liked this Cricket too. Also, the Phoenix is another person that kind of is the guide and is actually taking the place of Mushu. Now the Phoenix doesn't talk or anything, it's just a Phoenix, a guide for Mulan. And Mulan's sister. Like, I look back at the animated series. Mulan, they didn't reference a sister. But in this, Mulan has a sister, and I was like, okay, I like that. Mulan has a sister. And then it gives, to me, Mulan having a sister gives more weight to the story of why the father was going to go on ahead and take this spot, because all he had was daughters. He didn't have a son. So, also, girl power. This is a girl power movie. Mulan is a girl power superhero. She's a girl power superhero. So it's a lot of girl power in here. So if you somebody that don't like girl power, because I know there's some men that don't like girl power, with demasculine men, that don't like girl power, you might not like this movie. And again, like I said before I get into my review, this is not your childhood Mulan. So if you are coming to get this premium access Mulan thinking that you're gonna get your childhood Mulan, you're not gonna get it. So you might not want to get that premium access on this, pay that $30, because you're not gonna get childhood Mulan. You might as well wait until December, I think 4th is when Mulan will be free for all the Disney Plus people. You might have to wait till December 4th, because you're not gonna get that childhood Mulan. Okay, so let's get into my review of this Mulan, guys. But before I do that, guys, go on ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button after this video. Go ahead and tap those notifications so you know every time I post a video, guys. Every time I post a video, guys. So let's get into what I liked about this Mulan. So, I just want to say, one thing that I liked about this Mulan is seeing Mulan as a child. I know it's brief. It's at the beginning. It's very brief. But you get to see Mulan as a child, and that's something that you didn't see in the animated. And I was like, oh, that's cool to see Mulan as a child and see her interact as a child and see, because in this it's a story of female empowerment and about honor and about knowing your place. There's a lot in this movie about knowing your place and about actually overcoming the odds and being yourself. So I'm liked it that they showed little Mulan and showed how little Mulan progressed into what she is. The settings in this movie is beautiful. This is an epic. Like, I would have loved to seen this in the theaters, because this is an epic movie. This is made for the theaters. That's why I don't understand, like, people say, but I can sit at home and watch movies. No. Like, I love going to the theaters, because a movie like this, I would have loved to see it in, like, Dolby, because I have AMC A-list, in Dolby with the sound and the big screen. I would love to see it, or in IMAX. I mean, because this was an epic movie that I wish I just didn't watch it on my iPhone. I wish I watched it on the big screen. Relationship between Mulan and her father. Like, in the animated movie, it kind of hinted their relationship, but like I said, the animated movie was more comical. I can't talk. Comical and more like geared towards kids. And I mean, this is geared towards kids, but it really didn't show the relationship between Mulan and her father like this movie did. This movie showed like their relationship and why Mulan did what she did for her father, and why her father did what he did for Mulan. And like I said, this movie is about honor. They say honor almost every 5 seconds in this movie. Honor. This movie's about honor. I love Mulan's new love interest. Now, Mulan doesn't have Li Shang because they took him out, and I'm not understanding why they took him out. They took him out because, like I said, representative culture. Now, I don't know a lot about Asian culture, so don't get me wrong. But in culture, if you think about generals, because in the 1998 one, he was a general, and he was young. He was a young general. But in Asian culture, generals are not that young. They're not that young. They're normally older guys. So to make this like true representation, you had to have older gentlemen as the generals, and you couldn't have put him. You couldn't have Mulan fall in love with an older gentleman. I mean, you could have, but it just wouldn't seem right. So her new love interest is actually somebody that she came in contact with when in the army training, which is more believable than her falling in love with the general. Which is okay, but like, you know, that's, to me, this is more believable in love interest. Now, they didn't do too much with the love interest. I mean, you could see it, but it was more about, this was more about Mulan's story and not about her falling in love with this guy. And I know a lot of people hated that they didn't have this big love interest and she wasn't really falling in love with this guy. But I mean, there's a war going on. I know love is a thing, but there's a war going on, and I like that too. Like, there's a war going on. I ain't got time to be worried about falling in love with nobody. They got a war going on. Come on now. And another thing that I loved about this, one thing that I seen by watching the animated one, is they made Mulan in the animated one, they made her weak and then she became strong. The army, when she goes to the army training camp in the animated one, she was like the only one that was weak, and everybody, it was just baffling me. After I watched this and then I watched the 1998 one, I was like, you know what, that makes no sense. Because what made no sense was when she went to the army training camp, yeah, she's a woman, and yeah, she might be a little weaker than the men, but there's some women that's stronger than men. Trust me, there's some bodybuilder women that's stronger than men. And yeah, she might be a little bit weaker than the men, but these men are all in this training camp. They're all first sons and they're all new to the army. In the animated one, it was like, yeah, the men was new, but the men can pick it up quickly. The men can pick it up quickly, but because Mulan is a woman, she can't pick it up quickly. She has to struggle because she's a woman. And I was like, that's wrong. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean that she's weaker than the men. It doesn't mean that she's not strong, that she can't pick it up like the men. But in the animated one, that's what it told you. If you're a woman, you can still do it. But you're a little bit weaker than the men. But in this one, I liked it that everybody was weak. Because this is everybody's first time training. Everybody's first time training. This is everybody's first time in the army. And if you're army people, you understand your first time in the army, you're not doing Terminator stuff. You're not the American sniper. You're not. So everybody was weak, not just Mulan. Everybody was learning, everybody was training. But it showed how Mulan, even though she was weak and even though she was learning about training and everything, sorry guys, she was picking it up too, and it just felt more realistic. It felt more realistic than Mulan is the only weak person and all these men just better than Mulan because Mulan's a woman. So I really liked it and appreciated that. So let's get into what I disliked about this movie. There were some things that I didn't particularly like about this movie. Mulan's mother. Now I can't say I didn't like her because at the end I fell in love with her a little bit. But throughout this movie, like the beginning of this movie, Mulan's mother, I'm gonna have to say, was a bitch. God forgive me, excuse my Japanese, but Mulan's mother was a bitch. I'm sorry, she was a straight up bitch at the beginning. And I know some people gonna say, oh, Charles, how could you say that about Mulan's mother? But the animated series mother, she wasn't too much into it that much. But Mulan's mother in this one, she was a bitch. And I had to say, girl, why you treating your daughter like that, sister? Wow. I mean, she was a bitch. She was a bitch. And I really didn't like, I understand it, but then I don't. So I was kind of wishy-washy on that. Because I was like, you made her a straight up bitch. Girl. And also in this movie, at times the CGI was like, you could tell it was on a green screen. And I really, really hated that. Because at certain times, especially at the beginning of this movie, it took me out of the movie because you could tell sometimes you on a green screen. And I felt like, man, Disney, you should have told them, hey, before we put this out, fix that. Because that looked like y'all on a green screen. And I don't want that. Especially in Mulan. Mulan is my second Disney princess. And I don't like Mulan getting treated like that. But, it's not bad. It's not bad to where you can't enjoy the movie. It's just, you could tell at points that the CGI was off. Also, one thing that the animated series had was side characters. Like, side characters were like like Mushu, Cricket, the guys in the army. And I feel like in this one, because you don't have Mushu, you don't have Cricket, you don't have those elements, to me, I felt like they should have really developed the side characters a little more. They have side characters in the army and all that stuff, but they're not too much developed. And I felt like that would have made this movie stronger. That would have made people say, okay, so we don't have the music, we don't have Mushu, we don't have the Cricket like Cricket, we don't have those elements, but we do have these developed side characters to make you kind of feel, because I know it's Mulan's story, but you need these developed side characters to kind of keep you on your toes, and I feel like they should have had that. Also, Jed Lee was in this movie, and he did awesome. By the way, he did awesome as the Emperor, but I felt like Jed Lee could speak English. And I found out that they dubbed over his voice. And I was kind of upset about that because he can speak English. He might not be the best in English, but this is China. And yeah, he might not be the best in English, but you can still understand Jed Lee. You didn't have to dub over his voice, Disney. You didn't have to do that. And for those of you who don't know what dubbed over people's voices, dubbed is when you take somebody and then you have somebody else record what that person is supposed to say. Then you put that person's voice over that person. That's what dubbing is, and I didn't like that. So these are the things that I feel like people should know. Disney tried, even though this is a fantasy and you will see fantasy elements, especially about the chi. Like Disney, I don't know what the chi was and what you was trying to go with the chi, but you could have did a little bit better with the chi. That's my popular dislike too, because you could have did, because I like the chi. I like the chi. I wish I was the chi, but can anybody have the chi? Is the chi just only for women? What is the chi? How did Jed Lee character, the Emperor, get the chi? How did the chi turn you into a witch? Like that, you could have explained more of the chi. You see my chi hands. You could explain more of the chi. But things that people need to know is they tried to go more realistic with this Mulan. So you're not gonna get animated goofiness. I mean, there's some animated goofiness in this movie, but it's not as much as the 1998. Also, one thing that people need to know, I love how they explain Mulan's reveal when she revealed herself to be a woman. I was iffy about it, but I kind of like it as I think about it, because in an animated one, if you think about it, after she saves them and she comes after they reveal she's a woman in the animated one. In real life, even though she saved their life, she'd have died. In real life, let's be honest. In real life, once they revealed she was a woman and he'd have dragged her out there, she'd have been dead. I mean, they hinted at it in the animated series, but Lee Chang didn't do it. But you gotta think about it. These are older army generals. So an older army general would have killed her. And they hinted at it in this realistic live action Mulan. But because of the way she revealed herself in this Mulan and the way she went about it, it wasn't like I had my opportunity, I could have killed her. It was more like, okay, because you did this, we're gonna let you go, but don't come back. Don't come back at all. So it's iffy, because they could have did the animated way too, but I just think this way, the way she revealed it herself is more realistic. Now, I'm not talking about how she decided she was gonna be herself, because that was Disney. I'm gonna have to say, that was kind of I was like, so what was the point of that? What was the point of that? And if you watch it, you'll see. There's some things that the other reviewers are saying that I don't understand too. So there is a main villain, and a lot of people was mad because people keep saying that the witch is the main villain, but the witch is not the main villain, because you always have the main villain and you have their main henchman. It's just like if you watch Power Rangers, and Power Rangers has Real Repulsor, and then Goldar is her main henchman. So it's the same thing with this one. You have a main guy that's the villain, that is the villain. That's the same villain as the animated one, except they tweaked his story and changed his name and stuff. But like, the witch is his henchman, and her story is kind of crazy, but I actually liked her story and everything. But I didn't understand why people was like, well, the witch is the main villain. No, she's not. You have a main villain and he's in it throughout the movie. It's just, you know, if you have a big bad, it's just like Lord Vader on Star Wars. He didn't always come out and fight people. He sent his stormtroopers out there. Go ahead, do what you gotta do. Palpatine, he didn't go out there and fight everybody. He went and send Lord Vader out there. And it's the same thing with this villain. Like, he fighting, but he gonna send the witch out there do it first before I come out. Cause when I go out, I'm the big bad. So I didn't understand that. overall, guys, Julian's Diary gives this movie A-. It's not bad. It's not a bad movie. If you're into cultural representation and you want a fresh, different Mulan, and that's crazy because people hated the Lion King live action because it was the same movie. But when they did this Mulan and tried to do something different, people was like, why didn't they put Mushu in it? Why it wasn't the same as the animated Mulan? People, make up your mind. Do you want the same movie or do you want a different movie? And everything. Because like I said before, I understand why Disney is making these live action remakes. You need to make, even though the classics are the classics, and you can still watch the classics. It ain't like the classics going away. It ain't like they threw the classics away and just say this is the only Mulan. But the reason why they're making these live actions is for a new generation, because not every kid has seen the old Mulan, because not every parent is having them watch the old Mulan. But you know, this is something new and fresh. They might go out and see this. So I understand. Is it worth the $30? If you're one person that likes something different and likes cultural representation and like just want to see something fresh, I mean, I cried during this movie. Like the end, there's a gift. If you know the original Mulan, you know the original Mulan characters. At the end, there's a special person that comes in at the end, and if you know the characters from the 1998 Mulan, you appreciate the special guest person that's gonna be in this Mulan. But like I said, I mean, it's worth $30 if you want to see a new reimagined Mulan, because people think there's only one story of Mulan, the Disney version of Mulan. No, there's Asian culture has different stories of the Mulan story, and I've read a Mulan story that's darker than the 1998 and this 2020 Mulan. It's way darker, and it's like, oh God. Because like at that Asian story I read, Mulan dies. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Everything. But I think it's worth $30 if you want something different and you want to relive your childhood but a little differently. Now if you want the same 1998 Mulan, I don't think you should pay the $30. I think you should wait till December 4th and just watch it when it comes for free for everybody on Disney Plus, guys. So that was my review of Mulan. So what did you think, guys? What did you think of my review? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know in the comment section below, are you gonna pay the $30 to see Mulan? What did you think about the Mulan? Let me know, guys. Let me know. Like always, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button so you know every time I post a video, guys. Also, go ahead and share this video with your friends. Maybe you have some friends that were on the spectrum of whether to buy this Mulan or whether to not buy this Mulan. Share my video so they can get an idea of what a real idea. Not like no offense to other critics, but I'm gonna give you a real idea of how I feel about this Mulan. I'm gonna give you a real idea. I'll give you a real idea. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter, guys. Follow me on Twitter at Julian's Diaries Twitter page, where I tweet every time I see a movie or just about life. I tweet. Also, follow me in all my social media. I have the links in the comment section below, guys. And like always, I love you, Pink Diamond Nation. Peace out.